Hello everybody. What is going on tonight? It is Wind Down Wednesday with your girl, Coach Cariel. And I am very excited to have you here with me tonight. I think we're going live. It always takes a second or two. So let me know in the comments, what did you bring with you to sip on with me? I'm drinking a nice rosé right now, and to be perfectly honest, this is like my second glass because I have my New York family here to visit me. My niece is going off to college tomorrow, Newberry, and it's about 2 hours away. So they stopped in here to spend the day with us, so I'm partying with my family. But that will not derail me from keeping myself accountable and showing up here live with my badass crew. So welcome to the 5th episode of Wind Down Wednesdays. Last week, whoever joined me, you may remember, I shared the Big 5 visioning exercise. And that gave you an opportunity to bring some awareness to what you actually do want in the Big 5 areas of your life, which, just as a reminder, that's health, career, love, money, and your connection to that which is greater. What's up, Kelly? I think she's in the other room, my sister. Sauvignon Blanc. Yes, very happy to have you here as well. So that Big 5 vision was just to create some awareness for what you want in your life, right? And congratulations to the 8 of you who actually did the exercise for yourself and submitted it to me. You are on my calendar. You already got your invite for your free coaching session with me. And that'll give us an opportunity to dig a little bit deeper so you can get closer to actually achieving some of those results that you created in that exercise we did last week. So if anyone is still interested, take a look at last week's live, go through the exercise. Even if you don't want coaching with me, I highly recommend that you go through the exercise for yourself. Do it for yourself. You're worth it. But if you do still want some free coaching with me, I will happily give you one session, 60-minute session to dive a little bit deeper into that. So send me your big vision sheet and I'll be in contact with you. Okay, so this week we're going to keep it short and simple. I'm going to be introducing you guys to a 4-week series focusing on the 4-step system to ultimately get what you want. Yay! Let's cheers to that, badasses. So tonight we're going to take a deep dive into step number 1. And step number 1 is all about accessing and acknowledging the truth about what you truly desire. Part of what I do as a life coach, no matter who I'm coaching or what I'm coaching on, is to truly help my clients transform fear so that they can uncover their truth and access their personal power to actually take empowered action towards that desire that they want in their life. So this simple system is going to help you do just that in your life. And it addresses one of the number 1 things, you guys, that we all struggle with. And that is how do we ask for what we want and actually get it? So first, I'm going to touch on the 4-step system, and then I'll be talking to you about step number 1 tonight. So the 4-step system, we'll talk about step number 1 tonight, and then the next 3 steps over the next 3 episodes. And this is going to give you an opportunity to learn, why is it so difficult for most of us to actually get what we want? And how you can turn that around so you can create the badass life that you want and truly desire. So, okay. Step number 1, as I mentioned, it's all about accessing and acknowledging the truth about what you want in your life. And we'll talk about why that's so hard in just a minute. But step number 2, just to touch on, is discovering how to ask for what you want so you can experience a change in the direction towards your desired outcome. Step number 3 is being willing to receive what you want. We'll take a look at why people struggle to receive in a later episode. And you'll know for yourself, are you more comfortable giving or receiving? Chances are good, if you're watching this, you're probably more comfortable giving. So we can work on shifting that a little bit together. And then step number 4 is developing resilience. We need resilience because sometimes when you make a request of people, the answer is going to be yes. Yay. And a lot of other times the answer is going to be no. We can't fall apart when the answer is no. So we're not going to get what we want if we fall apart when the answer is no, because that's not the way that life is. It's not a series of yeses, right? It's a series of wins and losses. So we're going to build that resilience. So we'll get into each one of these steps over the next 4 weeks, starting with step number 1 tonight. Accessing and acknowledging the truth about what you want in your life. And you guys, this is so much trickier than it looks, because on the outside, the question, what do you want? It's a simple question, right? But the truth is, what do you want? It is the number 1 hardest question for most people to answer. Why is that? Seems pretty simple. But in order to talk about what we want, you guys, we have to take a deep dive into the concepts of desire and appetite and your relationship to both of those things. This can be really triggering for a lot of people, and it's tough, particularly tough for us chicks. You know, women, we have thousands and thousands of years, women in particular have been taught that their appetite means they're bad, right? If you indulge in your appetite, you can get pregnant. You could bring shame on your family. You could die in childbirth. There were really painful consequences for women. And you can kind of hear this cultural legacy in the way women talk about certain foods. And unfortunately, guys, in some countries, there is some of what I just said still active. But in the US or more developed countries, you might hear women say, I was so bad today, I had a brownie. Now, this person isn't necessarily bringing shame on their families, but they're still carrying around the idea that their appetite means they're bad. This is subtle, but this is what it is for women, right? There is a way in which we as women fear our appetites. We just do. We fear our desires. We see them as something dangerous, something that has to be controlled or tamed, because we're carrying thousands and thousands of years of societal and cultural programming on our backs. And because I believe what the underlying worry, fear, belief system for women as a collective is, if I open up and really experience my full appetite, there will be no end to what I want to devour, and my appetite will cause destruction. Serious shit. So when you ask the question, what do you want? It's a loaded question. We found so many ways to dance around and avoid taking responsibility for what we want because of all of that emotional weight that we've just been carrying around. Is almost too much. So we do things like talk ourselves out of what we really want. We use justifications like, nah, I didn't really want it anyway. It's not the right time for me. Being happy will take away from others, or it'll cost me too much. The cost of what I want is just going to be too great. Or I'll have to suffer to get what I want, and it's just not worth it. Or I'm too old, I'm too young, people won't take me seriously. Or desire is selfish. God forbid I want something in life. People think I'm selfish. If I get what I want, someone else is going to lose out. So we carry all of that baggage and emotional luggage around. And you guys, sometimes we might not even acknowledge our desires, even to ourselves. To have to, we don't want to have to deal with all of that luggage. It's just easier to decide, I don't want anything, I'm fine. And you may have felt, maybe your desires are an imposition to others. My desires will be a burden to someone else. Ooh, that's a juicy one for me. I don't have the right to need or want because others have it worse. Ugh, I've done so much unpacking of that one. I talk from experience, you guys. I've been through this myself. So again, I'm just sharing with the intention of maybe having someone open up their perspective a little bit, feel a little bit lighter, feel empowered to take some action. Carla, excellent question. Barriers and make excuses out of fear, 100%. And I'm going to get a little bit into that later. You're right on my wavelength, girl. So another thing we do is ask for permission from outside sources to what we want. I can't give myself permission. That's not possible because of all the reasons we've just discussed, right? But if somebody else gives me permission, then maybe I can. So we basically hand over our power completely. We hand it over completely to other people or things and allow them to be the decision makers of our life. Now, is that empowering or disempowering? And Carla, to your point, barriers. These are what I call shields. One of which is a human shield. Like, I can't get X because of my kids. Or I can't get Y because of my spouse. I can't because of my partner, my boss, my parents, the healthcare field. You name it. It's a shield. It's a barrier that we put up. Nicely noticed, Carla. Or it might sound like, what will my husband or wife or partner or parents, children, friends think of me if I share my true desires? Will they allow me to take this training? Will they allow me to pursue this career? Again, handing over the power to somebody else to make the decisions of your own life. We give them the power to decide for us. Yikes. So incredibly disempowering. We also use something that I call a money shield. And you've all done it because I know I've done it plenty of times. We use people and money as an excuse. I don't get to have what I want because I haven't achieved a certain level of status or income. If I had that money, then I could fill in the blank. And this is one of the biggest uses of money shields ever. Instead of we have the choice to consider. Like maybe I'm in charge. And this came up for me, early on in my coaching career. I remember I was working with a specific coaching mentor and I asked, help me sharpen my skills. I want to sign up. How much is it going to be? And when she told me the cost was X, I was like, oh well, I don't have the money. I can't do it. It wasn't until the coach said to me, I totally believe you. So what are you willing to do to make this a reality for yourself? Put me back in the driver's seat. And that's when I realized just because I don't have it now doesn't mean I can't create it, right? That's empowering. That feels good in my body. Doesn't that feel good? What can I do to create this result in my life? I'm in charge. And sometimes we just don't even know or even consider that as an option. And I know I didn't for many years. I used all the barriers I could to push my dreams away from myself. I created that. So another thing we do when we're asked what we want and we're struggling to answer is that we automatically assume we're just not going to get it. So before we even allow ourselves to fully want something, we're already in the grieving process. We may feel sadness because we're thinking, well, we're never going to be able to have it. Like, I'm already sad that I can't have it before I've admitted that I even want it. Or if you're like me, I've done this plenty of times in my life. Give me a thumbs up if you have. We get preemptively disappointed without ever trying to go for what we want. Like, well, I'm already disappointed that it didn't happen. I didn't try to make it happen, but I'm pretty disappointed anyway, so I'm not going to even try. Geesh. It's just so painful to feel like we can't get what we want. So we deny wanting it in the first place. And this happens so subtly, so quickly, that you may even deny that you denied your desire. That's how thick and muddled the brain can get before you start to unpeel it. It's like we bury it so deep that we don't even know that we're doing it. We don't even recognize it, or we just don't even admit it. We shut down our desires, just shut them down. And what ends up happening is that we can't connect with our truth. And you guys, if we can't connect with our truth, we can't connect with our power. And if we can't connect with our power and express that power, we're not going to feel fulfilled. Which is what I believe part of our life purpose is to feel wholeheartedly alive and filled. So we actually have to open up our desires so that we can access the truth, so we can access our power and feel that we're living on purpose, so that we can feel alive and fulfilled. It's a whole sequence. So what I'm suggesting is a new way to see your desires and your appetite. Just consider, it's not Bible, just I'm throwing it out there. Whoever it lands on, good for you. Whoever it doesn't, good for you. Just consider this new way of thinking. What if your desires and your appetites were actually pointing you in the direction of your life's purpose? They are, in fact, the golden keys that open up the experience of fulfillment and satisfaction, aliveness, and freedom that you're searching for. There's this book, Wild at Heart, by John Eldredge. Highly recommend it. It's a best-selling book, Wild at Heart. And he says, quote, "Absolutely nothing of human greatness is ever accomplished without desire. Not a symphony has been written, a mountain climbed, an injustice fought, or love sustained apart from desire. Desire fuels our search for the life we prize." So eloquently put. So as a life coach and a health coach, when I reframe for my clients that their desire is actually good and wise and access their own truth, I just help to pull it out of you. I don't give it to you. It's in there. I just help you to access it. So when I can do that, we have an opportunity to quiet down the critter brain long enough for us to consider, hell yeah, this is my truth. And when I can reframe for my clients, your truth might actually benefit everyone around you. It doesn't necessarily have to take away from anybody else. It could benefit the people that you love most. You're less likely to feel like your truth means someone else loses out. Let's take a deep breath. That was a lot, I know. So step 1 of 4 covered so far. Curious for your thoughts. Join me next Wednesday to dig into step number 2, which is discovering how, this is a juicy one too, how to ask for what you want so you can experience a change in a new direction, which is towards your desired outcome. But before you go, leave me a comment or message me. Let me know what your truth is. Let me know what you would like to claim around what you want in your life at this moment, today, right now. Say what you want. Come on, badasses, tell me what you want. Claim what you want in the comments or private message me. Use me as practice to actually start to ask for what you want, and use me as a place that's safe for you to do so. If you can't do it anywhere else in your life, you can trust that you can share your truest desire with me. And with that, come on, Kelly. She's been in the other room. Cheers, badasses. Oh, she won't even show her face.
Oh, come on.
Badass. There she is.
Good job.
Cheers, badasses. Keep living on purpose, and I'll see you next week.